Hey everybody, and welcome to part 18 of our playthrough of Pokemon Trading Card Game for Game Boy. I'm actually recording this commentary after playing the game rather than during it, due to some technical issues with the audio I got out. So I want to remind you guys, there's actually a couple other things I've been working on. I got the soundtrack to Pokemon Black and White a couple weeks ago, and I've been playing tracks from that on the station. There's 4 CDs, so it'll probably take us a little while to get around. I've also been playing Guardian Signs, getting music from that as well. So why don't we continue and go to our next opponent here in the Lightning Club. So it's Brandon, and he wonders what Isaac is doing. Isaac is the club leader, or club master. So now we're going to play a 4-prize match against Brandon's Power Generator deck. Brandon starts out with a mulligan. As you may recall, I'm running that Haymaker deck, which is a combination of Electabuzz. You can see Electabuzz there. In fact, let's take a look at it. So Electabuzz, I'm afraid I don't have a really good scan of this one. I could only find my best promo, which is Reverse Foil, effectively. It's got 70 HP, 2 attacks. First one is for 1 Lightning Energy Thundershock, 10 damage, Chance Paralysis. The second one is Thunder Punch. It does 30 damage, and then you flip a coin. If heads, you do 10 more damage. If tails, you do 10 damage to yourself. For 2 energy, 1 lightning, 1 more of any type, it's actually pretty good, which is one reason it gets used in this deck. So that's our only basic Pokemon, I'm pretty sure, so we just gotta start with that. Yep. 4 prizes. And I go second. So Brandon starts out with an Eevee, plays a Bill, attaches Lightning Energy and uses Tail Wag, which is successful. Tail Wag, as you may recall, prevents the other player from attacking during his next turn. His or her, I should say. I'll play a Bill. Double colorless and a Switch, which of course doesn't help me much right now. But I can play the Energy Search. Get rid of the Lightning. Attach to Electabuzz. And then I can play a Gust of Wind that'll clear Tail Wag, so let's bring up Zapdos from the bench. So here's Zapdos from the base set. It has 90 HP, 9 little circles there. Retreat cost of 3, no weakness. None of the legendary birds have a weakness in this stage of the trading card game's development. And a resistance to fighting, which is interesting because normally the electric Pokemon are weak to fighting in the trading card game. 2 attacks, one of those, you see the first one there is Thunder. 3 lightning and a colorless, 60 damage, but you might do 30 to yourself. And then Thunderbolt, 100 damage for 4 lightning, but you must discard all energy cards attached to Zapdos to use that attack. Truthfully speaking, it's not that good of a card. There's also a Zapdos in the Fossil set, but it really isn't any better. The nice thing though is its attacks are very expensive, so bringing it up means I'll get some time. Okay, I get heads on Thunder Shock. Not that I terribly needed it, but... And Eevee evolves into Jolteon. So Eevee and its 3 evolutions were in the Jungle expansion. Play an energy removal on Jolteon, or Zapdos actually, I'm sorry. And put that on there. Now I can use Thunder Punch. Plus 10 damage out, so I do 40 to Zapdos for 2 energy. For a reason, Brandon's AI sent another energy there. Play a Hitmonchan on the bench once I get rid of Zapdos and its fighting resistance. That should help me out. So let's take a look at Item Finder. This is, again, adopted from the video games. It basically says discard 2 of the other cards from your hand in order to put a trainer card from your discard pile into your hand. So this is very useful because you can grab any trainer card, and remember there are no supporters or stadiums at this point in the game, so I can grab Professor Oak, Bill, Gust of Wind, anything, just by discarding 2 cards from my hand with Item Finder. It's also another rare trainer, which you'll notice. So there we go, let's put the double colorless energy on Hitmonchan. And attack with another Thunder Punch. Unfortunately, I did not get heads that would have knocked out Zapdos. And we get an Electabuzz on my opponent's bench. Let's go ahead and check that out. Now, this is a somewhat special Electabuzz. It's actually one of the promos from, at least in the US, from Pokemon the first movie. I don't recall there being an Electabuzz in the game, or in the movie. But nonetheless, here's the promo they used. It has 60 HP, 2 retreat cost, weakness to fighting, 2 attacks. The first one is Light Screen, which reduces the damage it takes during your opponent's next turn by half for 1 lightning energy. And the other one is Quick Attack. And for 2 colors it does 10, with the possibility of doing more if you get heads. Overall, it's not that great. Light Screen is kind of interesting, but unfortunately Quick Attack is practically useless. So now we'll do a Thunder Shock. I only need 10 damage, so there's no point in using Thunder Punch. And we get our Item Finder there. Item Finder is very similar to a modern-day card that just came out called Junk Arm. And we drew a Pokédex card. So let's take a look at that. Pokédex is a card that lets you look at the top 5 cards from your deck and rearrange them as you like. It actually says up to 5, but I think in the trading card game for Game Boy, you're always going to get 5 cards. I don't know why you would ever want to look at less. Anyway, I'll play that and take a look at the top 5 cards. Take Bill, followed by Energy Removal and Lightning Energy. Those will be the cards I get with the Bill. Electabuzz, and finally Switch. There have been several Pokédex cards throughout the history of the trading card game, and there are other similar cards like Poke Radar and Poke Gear. So here's another Thunder Punch, and I get heads this time, so I do 40 damage to Jolteon. And predictably, there's the Energy Removal and the Lightning Energy. I'll check the bench Pokemon. None of them have energy, and I know I'll knock out Jolteon, so there's no point in using the Energy Removal, but let's go ahead and use that Thunder Punch, knock out Jolteon. Get a tail, so I do 10 damage to myself, but still 30 out is enough to knock out Jolteon. And Voltorb does 10 more damage to me. Getting our Electabuzz. Let's throw that on my bench. Lightning Energy on it as well. So, Voltorb is about as simple as cards get back in the day. It's got 40 HP, retreat cost of 1, weakness to fighting, and it has 1 attack for 1 colorless energy it can tackle and do 10. Nowadays you wouldn't see a card like this that's that simple, but back in that day that was pretty common. Unfortunately I get a Tails there, I could have knocked out Voltorb in 1 hit. Play that on Electabuzz on my bench so I can attack with that. And I get a Paralysis there. Remember, I used Thunder Shock because I only need to do 10. And I get a Professor Oak there. Now we've got Electabuzz. And it uses its Light Screen attack. Which is problematic because if I get Tails on Thunder Punch, I do the same amount to myself, but its damage is reduced by half. Let's remove that energy from it. Throw an Electabuzz in my bench, attach a lightning energy to it. Since I've removed pretty much everything of use from my hand, let's go ahead and play Professor Oak. Attack with another Thunder Punch. I get another Tails this time. And it only does 10 damage, of course. As the games unfold, you can notice some of the strengths of this deck. It can do a lot of damage without a lot of energy. And I'm going to get to do 40 here for just 2. And Brandon plays a switch to bring up his Electabuzz. Attaches a lightning energy and uses Thunder Shock. Doesn't really matter what he gets here because that'll knock out my Electabuzz. And all I have to do now is put out Hitmonchan, play a Fighting Energy, and attack with Special Punch. And that does it. That is the last prize of the game, so I'll grab that. And that's also going to do it for Part 18 of our playthrough of Pokemon Trading Card Game for Game Boy. I'm going to pick up my 2 packs at the end. Let me know what you guys thought about me doing a post-commentary. It was out of necessity this time, but if you'd like me to do more of it in the future, please let me know. So stay tuned for next time.